Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Katrina Ness with TEDx at Northwood University. We have an amazing panel with us with Jenna Smith and Jean Engs, and I would like them to introduce themselves.
My name is Jean Engs. I'm a writer for Quantum 5.
My name is Jenna Smith, and I am the owner and founder of Revved Up Solutions.
All right. Well, ladies, thank you very much for being with us. I'm sure there's more to you than what we just heard, so I want to take a little bit of a deeper dive if I could. Jenna, tell us about yourself. I understand your family has a history in automotive, and how we ended up here at Northwood.
Well, so Ted, I have been in the automotive industry my entire life. I think I have fuel in my veins, actually. Third generation automotive on the retail side of things. However, I've branched off to helping all industry professionals. I spent a lot of time in the retail side. I worked business development, did spend some time in my career on the vendor side with Cox Automotive, and then started my boutique consulting company 5 years ago.
And tell us a little bit more about that, because that's really relevant. One of the things we're talking about at the Fixed Ops Roundtable is how now this is an age of video, and I think you've honed in on that.
So I provide a 90-day boot camp for professionals that are looking to communicate with their audiences, whether they're using email, text, or social media platforms.
And is that something that's done, you do that remotely, or is that in person? Or?
So I can do a combination of both, or one or the other, whatever the preferences of the client.
Okay. And Jean, tell us a little bit more about yourself, a little bit more.
So my background is actually in screenwriting and filmmaking. And it wasn't until 2.5 years ago I was working on a final project my senior year. And I snapped a picture of myself in the library editing late at night, as always. And my father had posted it on LinkedIn, a little proud dad moment there. Aww. And from that post, I was able to connect to David O'Brien and get an internship at Quantum 5. And 2.5 years later, I've been working there full time. And it's been such a great opportunity. I mean, I never saw myself being in automotive, but I know how much passion my dad has for the industry, and being able to actually step in his little bit of his footsteps there has been such a great experience. And I definitely have found my spot in automotive and being able to bring my creative background to what I do.
No, wait a minute. I remember maybe 4, 5, 6 years ago, you told me you were going to have nothing to do with automotive in your career. What happened?
I think, honestly, you just have to be open to the opportunities that come, and you'll never know where they take you and how they'll change you. And I'm glad that I was, because otherwise I wouldn't be here with you guys today.
Oh, I love that.
You know what? It is an industry full of opportunities, Katrina. And
It really
we
is.
see that all the time.
It really is. And speaking of opportunities, I've had the opportunity to work with Jenna for the past probably 9 months. And so do you want to talk about your involvement in Northwood and what you kind of do here?
Yes, so I'm part of Team LG Bright. He's the automotive chair for Northwood University, and he's known me and seen me grow up in the auto industry. About 2 years ago, General Motors and LG worked together on getting a generous sponsorship to put on a high school camp. It's a 6-day residential camp here on campus. It's actually happening right now. And students are coming in from all over the country to learn more about the automotive industry and see where they could have a potential career in it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
So you work with not just the Northwood students, but these are high school students at this automotive camp that you mentioned with LG. And that's quite an event, because you're exposing them to not just campus life, but there's a lot of great activities that you do. Tell us about some of those things.
So we plan activities all 6 days that they're here. Some days are on campus, some days are field trips out in the field around Michigan. Just for some examples, since they've been here, they've toured 3 dealerships. They went to the Mannheim Auto Auction in Detroit yesterday. They spent some time learning about the history of automotive, because that's so important, the restoration and preservation of our artifacts. And so they visited the Automotive Hall of Fame, and they also visited the Sloan Museum of Discovery.
And I can tell you that there's no way we would have pulled off this Fixed Ops Roundtable at Northwood University without the help of Jenna Smith, because she helped oversee everything. And I mean, from early morning until late in the day, she was making sure nothing got overlooked along the way. So
well, thank you,
I want to
Ted.
thank you for doing that.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
And
Yeah.
this has come a long way. My daughter will remember when she was in college and came home during that period of time. about 4 years ago when the whole world changed. She came home from school and she saw me, Katrina, in the living room, okay? And I had this bright light and I had the computer going. And she said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, we're doing this thing called the Fixed Ops Roundtable." Do you remember that?
I do. I remember seeing all the bells and whistles behind the scenes and getting to see a peek of what the Fixed Ops Roundtable was, and going from that humble setup to where we are now with these great studio lights, good cameras, and great people. It's been amazing to see how it's grown over such a short amount of time.
And Jean, you've really grown inside of this company as well, the Fixed Ops Roundtable. You've made your own path and you do a lot for us here too.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad to be a part of it as well. Working with my dad and Katrina and Vanessa has been a great opportunity to honestly just be a part of all this wonderful magic that you guys make happen.
And your thoughts on some of the things that I mentioned with Jenna, video being a big part of our lives today. How do you contribute to that and what do you do here at the Roundtable?
Absolutely. I mean, for the Fixed Ops Roundtable, I help with a lot of the social media that Katrina and Vanessa and my dad and even Sarah Van Tine all work with. And any coming up with ideas for marketing our new events, writing the transitions for our events when we're introducing a new speaker or a panel, and we got to say it in a fun and catchy way that ties with the theme. That's me behind the scenes there. And even just video in general, I think is so important just to bring life to automotive, and really, it's an easy way to connect to customers and connect to our community. So, yeah.
So Jenna, all of our 4-day events have a theme, okay?
I've seen that online. You're kind of famous.
Well, Katrina, what's our next theme we'll have coming up?
It is Summer Palooza, so we're super excited for that. It'll be a little bit of the end of summer bash, and it'll be an amazing event.
Well, all right, so want to have you back for that as well, okay?
Oh, sure.
We have a lot going on, and how are we going to top that? What's the next theme going to be after Summer Palooza?
It's going to be a hard one to top.
So on the topic of social media a little bit, do either of you have any tips for social media?
Well, I'd say one of my tips is that you just need to be authentic. You need to be yourself. People want to know you and do business with you. They do business with people that they know, love, and trust. And so if you are your true, authentic self on social media, that's going to come through in anything that you're doing. And people are going to resonate with it, and they're going to want to transact with you, whether you're selling cars or parts. Doesn't matter.
I love it. It's just building your personal brand and making it their authentic self.
I love it.
And building off of that, I would even say just be what you want to see in the world, If you want to see more videos of being authentic or more videos of just the behind the scenes, like be the first one to put that step forward and go and show that to the world. And don't be afraid to show who you are.
So Jenna, if our audience wants to reach out to you or learn more about what you do, what's the best way they can find you?
Well, I do have a website, www.revdupsolutions.com. I'm also on the social media channels. And I do have a better half, Casey the Auto Guy, Jenna the Auto Gal on Facebook. We have a fun little banter, and that's our brand on the retail side of things. But I'm Revved Up Solutions on Instagram and Facebook and on LinkedIn.
Everybody, Jenna Smith helping us get revved up here at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, and Jean Ings, thank you so much for what both of you do for our industry.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Everybody, we're at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. We're at Northwood University. We're here in Midland, Michigan, and we're going to be right back.